What's up, everybody? I posted a video a couple days ago asking what questions you had for me because, considering going less private once school starts and all that, because you guys are gonna find out my name anyway, and planning on doing a face reveal just right before the semester starts, but I don't know if I'm going to answer everything. I might not. Just kind of depends on the question. But without further ado, starting with Bjorn's questions, because I think of everybody who asked, him and Iraqi Gamer have been with the channel the longest, so I wanted to start with them. So, how many live in your household? 3. Where do you come from? I am from Kansas City, dead center of the United States. I live on the Kansas side, not the Missouri side. For people who don't know their Midwestern geography, that might be a little confusing that Kansas City is mostly in Missouri, but I live on the Kansas side. Do I have any brothers or sisters? Yes, one younger sister. What skills, weapons, etc. would CoalFire have in a video game, and what genre would that video game be? If sci-fi, then Biotics from Mass Effect, because I think it's the best sci-fi magic system there is out there. And if it was fantasy, magic. I absolutely love magic. I'm starting a D&D campaign, and I'm playing a wizard. Go figure. Who would act as you in the blockbuster movie of said game? Probably Chris Farley, but he's dead. So, Louis C.K. Yeah. Favorite food? Oh, that's hard. That's really hard. That really just depends on the day and what I have available to cook. It's hard to go wrong with pizza, but Kansas City has some of the best barbecue in the world. So, barbecue pizza. If I could only play 5 games for the rest of my life, what would you choose? Metroid Prime, Dark Souls 3, maybe Ark? Survival Evolved? I don't know. I don't really like the game, but I enjoy the game. Does that make sense? Like, I really like the idea of base building and dinosaurs, but I don't know. After that, maybe Elder Scrolls 4, Oblivion. And what would my 5th game be? Man, that's tough. I'd have to go through like my Steam library and see what my most played games are. Let me check that real quick. Oh yeah, probably Warframe. Warframe. Yeah, just it's got a lot of good content in it. Moving on to Iraqi Gamer. I love this hidden face. Don't remove it. Don't worry, even if I do end up doing a face reveal, then I'm not going to stop using the CoalFire face. It's become too much a part of like the identity of the channel, and it will never go away. Or at least make a video once or twice a week with this face. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do videos that often once school starts, but we will see. I'll do my best. I promise that. My question is, why do you make videos on YouTube? And it's clear you're not interested in making money from YouTube. Do you just do it for fun? I would like to be able to make a little bit more money than I do now from YouTube. You know, maybe 10 to 15 cents a day right now. But that's fine. It is what it is. I'm glad to finally be getting something for it. But I started off doing it because it seemed like a good niche for me, that I could do this kind of hybrid Let's Play feedback format. I never really knew that I was all that knowledgeable on games. I just knew I had a lot of opinions on them. So now that we've gotten a little bit further into it, and it's actually worked in my favor to help get me into school doing this. And I guess it was all just kind of a way to get into games as a profession. I didn't know where it was going to lead, but I've ended up as a review writer, a voice actor, a bug tester, and pretty soon to be a master's degree producer of video games. So I didn't really expect that what would have come out of it, but I'm glad that it has. I'm really, really excited for the future of what this has gotten me so far. Or just to introduce small games to the world and help the developers. Sorry for any writing mistakes or errors or grammar mistakes. Don't worry, Iraqi gamer. English is a very difficult language. Yeah, it seemed like an underserved community that like people would play indie games when they got a bunch of attention, or that they just weren't getting the feedback that I think they needed. And starting to do that and realizing how much people appreciated player-based feedback was really, really interesting and really helped shape what my content is now. That, I wouldn't feel right just playing the game to showcase the game, but also to give a little bit of feedback, something to give back to the developers, because I don't have enough money to buy all of their games and support them financially, so I think I can help support them from a player-based design perspective, and I think it's worked out pretty well. Aquamarine. Do you live alone? I do not. Will your video any AAA games? I do them occasionally, but cost is the major limiting factor for me, is that I don't make enough money to routinely buy AAA games, and because of that, and the fact that there's so many indie games that come out all the time, I just like focusing on the indie games. That, and it's a little bit of a weird perspective, but there's less competition in indie game videos. If you go for AAA games like Just Cause 4 or Far Cry 5 or Sekiro or shit like that, everybody and their baby is covering that game. And there's games that I'm still the only person that has ever done a video on it. And I think that's really cool. So I just tend to prefer indie games because there's less competition. There's also less demand, so it's a little bit of quid pro quo, but yeah. Do I have a beard? Yes, I do. It's probably about 6 inches long right now. Yeah, I also have a completely shaved head because I went bald early. What do you do outside of YouTube? Oh, what work do I do outside of YouTube? Over the last 2 years, it has varied considerably. I have worked as a blood processing technician for human research trials. I have worked as a quality assurance microbiologist in a pharmaceutical manufacturing company. I have worked as a game tester for a couple of indie games. I have done work as a voice actor, and I am currently a video game review writer. So, yeah, there's a whole bunch of shit going on that has changed a whole lot over the last few years. Why do the face reveal when you could do it when you have a higher sub count, creating a drama and tension sort of thing? Because I am going to be going to school for games production and releasing games while I'm there with my actual name on them. So I figure that, why not just show you guys who I am in a fashion that I can control and doesn't create a whole bunch of work for other people who actually want to see that, go track me down, and, once my name comes up like that, it's going to be a lot easier to figure out who I am, what I look like, and all that. So I figure, you know what, just fuck it. I'm just going to do it. Why don't you do any more known games on the channel? Kind of the same reason as we talked about the AAA games. Cost and coverage. Like, the more well-known a game is, the more people cover it. And the less likely I am to, get people coming in for that game on my channel as opposed to another well-established channel. And cost, always cost. What is my age group or age? What is your age or age group if you don't want to give out exact? I am 26 years old. I turned 27 in July. So yeah, I was born in 92. Woo! And lastly, Kingdom of Gaming asks, am I subbed to PewDiePie? And Aquamarine followed up with or T-Series. And I can proudly say I am subbed to neither. PewDiePie is actually who I started watching first when I was originally just kind of figuring out what the hell YouTube is. And it was around the time he was doing like Fridays with PewDiePie and the like 5 random internet things. And, it was what it was. I didn't really have any basis of comparison, but then I found like Markiplier and then Jacksepticeye and Cryotic and all those guys. Started watching them and I was like, this seems fun, doable. Maybe I could bring something unique to this. But I always really liked Cryotic's no face cam thing, because it makes him a somewhat more mysterious character. But at the same time, I really liked that Jacksepticeye and Markiplier were these recognizable personalities and all of that. And I was like, how do I do a middle ground there? Like, how do I be anonymous while having something recognizable? And thus, the face was born. But yeah, I hope that answered quite a few of your guys' questions. It was interesting answering things like this. A couple more like hypothetical, a couple more personal, and that's fine. I've also never been that private about my age. I've said I was 25, 26, depending on when I started the channel. Yeah. I think I was 25, 24 when I started the channel. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you learned what you wanted to, and feel free to follow up with any more questions that you might have. I'll just answer them down in the comments. But thank you so much for watching. My name is CoalFire, and I will see you next time.